proudly present the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships. Coverage presented by AT&T and Stifel. A new home for the NCAA Women's Division I Championships in its 42nd year, hosted by the University of Texas, Carlsbad, California. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course being used, par 72, just under 6,300 yards, the best in women's college golf, taking center stage. 30 teams made it here to Carlsbad to compete for a national championship. And on the line today, the individual title will be decided here in Carlsbad, as well as the 15 teams that qualified, trying to race to the top 8. Take a look at some of the highlights. Lottie Woad, the Florida State sophomore. She won the Augusta National Women's Amateur, trying to chase down Cernousek. Started the day 6 shots back. Karen, this was her second into the 9th.
Well, and it's not an easy hole. You have a big block leg around to the right, hole location at the back, but no problem there for Lottie.
She'd go on to make birdie. That'd get her to 7 under par. Mississippi State's Julia Lopez Ramirez rolls in this birdie putt at the 9th. This would get her to 7 under par and 4 under for the day. Lottie Woad continues applying the pressure, though. This birdie putt at the 11th gets her to 8 under.
Well, and this was the club at the Augusta National Women's Amateur that really made her stand out from the crowd, and she's doing it again here.
Adela Cernousek of Texas A&M, the junior, shot 68 each of the first 3 days. Makes a bogey at the 6th. This was her first bogey on the front 9 for the entire week. And then not long ago, Lottie Woad's 3rd shot at the par 4 13th. And she gets it to fall. She is now at 9 under. And now just 3 shots off the lead. So Cernousek even for the day. Woad 3 under. Julia Lopez Ramirez giving a couple back. She had gotten it to 5 under on the day. Currently 2 under for the day in that group at 5 under par. 4 players, 7 shots off the lead. It's going to be a fun day today with the individual title on the line. Bob Papa, Karen Stuppel, so glad you can join us. Steve Burkowski calling the action. Emilio Miliaccio, Julia Johnson with us, along with Amy Rogers. As we take you over to the par 3 8th, and Amelia with this group.
Cernousek putting from this very short par 3, playing less than 110 yards, but you're not going to see many players go at this flag. It's a very tucked flag, downwind and firm green. It's going to...
Let's go over to 14. Julia Johnson is with the Lottie Woad group. Hasn't made a bogey since the 18th hole in round number 2.
Playing some really good golf. Hugging the right side of that fairway, but set up a beautiful approach in here.
So let's take a look at the tournament format. It is presented by Titleist for the Women's NCAA Division I Championships, and getting through the regionals, 30 teams advanced along with 6 individuals, 54 holes of stroke play. Top 15s made it to today. Individual champion will be determined today. 8 teams from today advance to match play. Quarterfinals on Tuesday morning, semis in the afternoon, and then a national championship will be crowned on Wednesday afternoon. So a lot of fun on this Monday, Championship Monday. Let's talk about this new venue. After the last 3 years of being at Greyhawk, this Gilhance redesign has been nothing short of spectacular, according to every player and coach that we spoke with.
Well, they all say they love how the course has been designed, that they feel like it really challenges the players to think about their tee shots, to think about the approaches. It's not just a bang a driver down out there and then, you know, figure it out from there. You really have to focus on the little things on this golf course. Getting up and down around these greens is not very easy either, so players do have to pay attention to that.
Let's talk about Adela Cernousek, who has not won an individual event collegiately. She started the day with a very comfortable 6-shot lead. It's not as if she's playing poorly. She's even on her round today, but suddenly that lead has been reduced in half to 3, and Lottie Woad certainly knows how to win in a big situation. situation.
She does, and Lottie Wood has a really good opportunity too to post a number, and then Adela's going to have to really work hard to try and to keep that lead sustained on this golf course that can really come up and bite you very quickly indeed. Bogeys, double bogeys happen incredibly fast out there, and it is really tricky.
And Cernousek has this left for her par here at the 8th to stay at 12 under. Her team is currently in the top spot as far as advancing to the quarterfinals. They're in no danger of not making it. Can she focus on the individual a little bit more, knowing her team is safe?
I think she has to. I think every single player out there, even though they are playing for the team, they still have to focus on their own game. Try and save as many shots as you possibly can across the board, because I mean, it's going to make a difference with regarding seeding and who you play against, and that also matters to these players and to the coaches.
Then you take a look at the team leaderboard, and remember, scores can fluctuate very quickly. I mean, the race is on for the top 8, but a couple birdies here and a couple bogeys by another team for the counting scores, and suddenly you can get a big swing. Lottie Wood is playing great right now. She's 3 under on her round. Florida State is currently at plus 28. But you take a look at that group at 8, 9, 20, 22. Northwestern's at 23. You can erase 5 shots in a heartbeat over a span of just a few holes.
No question. These last few holes are brutal for the players, so anything can happen.
Let's take you over to 11 and welcome in Steve Burkowski.
Good afternoon, Bob. Second shot on the way at the par 4 for Annabelle Pancake, the senior for the Clemson Tigers. Tigers currently 5th as a team. Annabelle, the leader for them, 5 under, sharing 3rd place.
Take you over to 14, par 4, and Julia Lopez Ramirez has this putt for birdie, Julia.
And to stop the bleeding a little bit, coming off a double bogey on her last. Playing some good golf, just got a bad break, so she'd love to see this one go a little bit downhill, moving slightly left to right.
She was 5 under through our opening 10 holes, 3 over since. And not able to cash in the birdie there.
Now, that's the kind of thing that we can look for. This back 9, 6 of the 10 hardest holes have been on the back 9. So just have to hold on that back 9.
Now Lottie Wood next to play.
She's playing some fabulous golf. Like you said, this back 9 really shows its teeth, and she's playing really well, chipping the ball really well. Obviously one of the better putters out here. She can post a number, like you said, Karen. Get something in there that just applies the pressure even more to Adela.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Lottie Wood made birdie yesterday afternoon on the par 5 18th after 17 straight pars, which enabled Florida State to even advance to today. And she's played 31 straight holes at par or better. Her last bogey was on the 18th in the 2nd round.
I think just got put off there by a little bit of a wind gust that she had to make a little adjustment and missed.
Over to the tee at 9, Cernousek getting ready to go.
Cernousek has missed her last 3 tee shots to the right, but that is a beautiful baby draw down the center of the fairway.
Position A for the junior for the Aggies of Texas A&M. She hails to the green at the 11th. Annabelle Pancake has this for birdie. Move her to 6 under and solo 3rd. Second straight year, Pancake named an all-ACC performer. And a big part why the Tigers currently in 5th as a team, looking to make match play. All right, let's head over to the fairway at 9. Good look from high above. group of Cernousek, Tejado, and Martin San Pedro. I believe Paula first to go here, Amelia.
Paula has 196 yards, and this is finally the first hole. The players can feel like they can breathe a little bit. The flag is finally back, so they have some green to work with. Back into the breeze as well. This is headed right, and there's a fall off there.
Karen, you touched on it at the top of the show. You miss these greens here, short game gets tested quickly.
It really does, because they're all elevated, they're all raised. You've got drop-offs and fall-offs everywhere. With the greens being so firm, you can't be as aggressive. And of course, if you end up off the fairway in the Bermuda grass, it's Bermuda grass. It's not that easy to chip from.
It's back. It's kind of back there. This eight.
Yeah, it's the
worst
pin.
case came from the center. You like this? What target you like? Starting.
According to Bushnell, it's 174 yards to the hole. Collegiate golf players can use electronic measuring devices, and the Bushnell Pro X 3 Plus actually gauges the wind when connected to the Bushnell mobile app. Now, the players can't use that wind about 10 miles per hour out of the west-northwest here on this championship Monday.
Cernousek ready with her second.
Players can't use the wind feature, but I certainly can, and it is 7 miles an hour from left to right. This is a pull for Cernousek. She's been missing it today, Karen, just both ways.
Yeah, I have to think that you know, the chance to win a national championship individually, having never won before in college, kind of is playing it a little bit on her mind.
Karen, it's a great point. You think to last year, Lauren Walsh had not won a collegiate tournament, and she was in contention at the NCAAs, and I believe made an 11 on that very tricky par 5 fourth at Greyhawk.
Yeah, it can happen to the best of them, Amelia, as we watch Carla Tejado from LSU.
Carla has just 126 yards. You get it on the right side of the fairway, you can really shave off yardage. This is just left of the flag.
How about that shot, Karen?
Now, that's exactly what you need right there. I mean, landed in a little upslope, got it to stop a bit quicker.
Jump ahead to the 15th. Lottie Woad on the tee, ready to play.
Going with less than driver here. 238 to get into that bunker in the center of the fairway. Dead straight, looks pretty good.
It's an interesting hole. There's a center bunker there that Julia was talking about, and most players will choose to be a little bit short of that. Gives them a fuller shot into the green.
Take it over to the second, and Oregon's Kiara Romero has this putt for birdie. Oregon right now is in the 9th position at plus 21. Oregon, Auburn, and Arkansas playing together. They started their day at the 10th hole.
So they've already played the harder 9 holes.
Correct.
Now they're coming into the more scoreable side.
Yeah, many coaches sharing that with us this morning, that they were elated to see that they were going off the back 9 first, get that challenging incoming 9 out of the way as quickly as possible.
Just a lone birdie on the opening hole for Romero today. Romero is a counting score. She's the best score for Oregon today. They're currently just a shot out. But again, I mean, you can go as far back as Texas at 29 in Florida State, where there can be some wild swings that can have shots made up in a heartbeat.
Back over to the 9th, Paula Martin San Pedro, her 3rd.
This ball is nestled in the rough for San Pedro. The good thing is she has a lot of green to work with. So this is actually not a bad chip. She lands this on the front third of the green. It should roll out to the hole.
So Paula with work to do, and to echo your point, Bob, 5 players go out, the top 4 scores count. So when you reference Texas, 8 shots off the number, they're really 2 shots off the number when you divide it by the counting scores that are in play as we watch Cernousek.
This is such a tricky shot. Once this ball gets on the green, it is a very quick downhill. She's going to have to bump it through the grass. Managed to maneuver some sprinkler heads. How about that chip for Cernousek? That's probably as close as she could have gotten that one, Karen.
I really liked how she played that, not afraid to use the bump into the bag.
So Adela's going to have a chance to save her par, remain at 12 under, trying to hold off those giving chase like Lottie Woad, who gets ready for her second at 15.
I like this play, laying it a little bit further back. You can put a fuller swing on this wedge coming in. She has 92 yards here. Really only about 5 paces to work with over that bunker. Anything on the right side of this whole location will leave you a really nice uphill putt.
Smart shot. She'll have an outside chance to get to 10 under.
Yeah, and the reason that a fuller shot is more agreeable is that you can generate more spin. Generating more spin is an advantage on these greens that get firm as the day goes on.
We head from the 15th back to the 9th. Getting ready to watch Tejado and Cernousek. Looks like Carla getting ready to go.
This is definitely a golf course where it's just really easy to feel timid out here. The greens are quite wide, but they don't have a lot of depth to them. So when you get a flag that's downwind in a front hole location, it becomes really hard to try and hit one close. And as a result, you just can second guess your yardages. And Carla came off of a really nice birdie on the 8th, the par 3. She made about a 40-footer. So she's coming in with some heat. This would be a really nice birdie to make it back to back, just breaking slightly left to right.
Looked like a pull from the start, Karen.
It did. That's one of those ones where you stand over it and you think, oh, I just need to give it a bit more, and you don't.
Head over to 7. Wake Forest finishing up on this front 9. If they're going to make a charge, the defending national champs looking to get into match play. Carolina Chikara got to be a big part of that. Currently a counting score, and they're going to need a few more like that and some help along the way to make it into Tuesday morning in the quarterfinals. All right, let's go back to 9. Big par putt here for Cernousek.
And Adela's made a couple of these big par saves early in her round. Doesn't matter how big of a lead you have when you have a chance to win a national championship. The adrenaline is just firing. Keeping your composure and staying disciplined is everything when you're trying to win on the big stage.
All right, girl. Save.
Really solid up and down there.
That from a very tough position. Showing a little bit of versatility too.
So Cernousek makes the turn where she began the day at 12 under, but her lead is 3 on Championship Monday here in California. Back out at the 15th, Lottie Woad for birdie to get within 2.
Good look here, putting up the hill. Needs to be careful once it gets past the hole, might go little.
This back 9, these last 5 or 6 holes, Karen, you referenced how challenging they are. If Lottie can get in at 9, maybe 10 under, put the pressure on Cernousek as we head over to the 7th. Carolina Chikara must need a birdie for Wake Forest, and they know if they're going to have a chance to go back to back, they're going to need 2 or 3 more of those coming in more than likely, and then see what the others do coming down the stretch.
You can see from her scorecard how tough that back 9 played for her. That was her front 9. She's now made the turn, made a couple of birdies, and things are turning around for her.
Take a look at the 10th hole here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, par 5.
Little dog leg down around the corner and to the right, and the wind today is more off the right. Last couple of days it's been downwind and the players have been able to get close to the green, but a different wind direction today might make it play a little tougher.
LSU as a team is currently in 2nd position, and Amelia Carla Tejado ready to go.
This is the second time I've seen Carla hit a less than driver off the tee from a par 5. Just opens up the fairway a little bit, especially if you can't go for it anyway.
And she winds up missing the fairway into that left rough. Paula Martin Semprado, Stanford. Stanford currently in the 3rd position.
Paula also hit less than driver on the par 5 6th hole. And that's a beauty down the left side of the fairway. Now Adela does have driver in hand, and she has been the more aggressive player of the 3 in this group.
Hey Amelia, how does it feel to be walking around out there? A year ago right now, you were with Wake Forest, helping the team get into match play and then go on to win a national championship.
Oh, I feel like I'm back in memory lane. This is so special, and I've played with all 3 of the players that I'm covering, Adela, Paula, and Carla. So it's been really nice to be out here and just to be feeling similar feelings that Adela has felt trying to win a national championship. It's nothing's else like it. This is a big blast out to the right, and this is way right towards the right cart path.
Actually, she gets a pretty good forward bounce and relatively bare spot.
It is. I mean, right now with the course renovation, that grass hasn't grown in fully. I imagine that this time next year that might be a significant problem.
Cernousek's first 45 holes, she played 13 under, 16 birdies, 3 bogeys. Over her last 8 holes, 1 over, 2 birdies and 3 bogeys. But she does have a 3-shot lead. Started the day with a 6-shot lead. Trying to win the national championship. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships is presented by AT&T. Cernousek trying to win the individual title. Right now, Texas A&M as a team sits atop the leaderboard at 10 under. Well, a short time ago, Amy Rogers had a chance to visit with the greatest, Anika Sorenstam.
I'm here with Anika Sorenstam. Anika, it's already been a decade since this award was established in your name, the Anika Award becoming one of the most prestigious awards in women's college golf. What has it meant to you to be a part of this honor?
Well, first of all, I mean, college golf was a big part of my career, and to be able to celebrate and highlight these young ladies' career and their college is really important, I think. And as you know, I mean, college golf now is just, the level of golf has just increased tremendously. But you're right, I mean, 10 years, I just can't believe it. And, you know, obviously, we presented by Steve Field, they did such a good job. And it's exciting to see the young ladies that won in the past have gone on to do some, as you know, some really big things. So we're excited about this year as well.
Yes, some impressive names once more on that final watch list. What has impressed you about the women that made the list this season?
Well, I mean, I think we all know that they can play. I mean, the performance obviously plays a big role in this, but they're just great young ladies. I mean, they are great teammates. They do a lot for the community. I mean, they're great ambassadors for the game. And it's just, I don't know, you're just trying to remember, you know, when I was in college, I don't think I was as mature and ready as these are young days. But it just says a lot about the sport and where we are with women's golf especially. I'm super proud of all of them. And that watch list, it's pretty impressive.
You were pretty impressive as well during your stint in college, the University of Arizona. Thinking back on your time, what did you learn from that experience you can pass on to some of the women that are here in the field this week?
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity, no doubt. I mean, for me, you know, coming from another country to come over and just explore golf, you know, like a full time, but also get education at the same time and play against the very best in the world. It's an amazing experience. It really is. And I mean, I think today just, you know, I've been walking around here looking at the players and the team and what they got going for them. It's incredible. I'm super excited for all of them to be here and have these opportunities. I mean, these are memories you make for a lifetime, right? And it's great to see them, you know, many of them continue to finish their careers now in college because, as you know, it's tough out there. There's no need to hurry out there, and there's so many tournaments for these young ladies to play and get ready. So take their time and just mature and be ready, and then you can pull the trigger.
Well, it's been a who's who of recipients of this honor over this last decade. Rose Zhang the last 2 years. We're excited to see who takes it home this year. Anika, great having you here this week. Thanks for the time.
Always. Thank you very much.
And the Anika Award, presented by Stiefel, is awarded annually to the most outstanding female collegiate golfer. And here are the finalists for 2024. And a lot of them competing here this week at the NCAA championships. And you got to pick, Karen?
How can you pick? I mean, there's so many good ones on that. I mean, obviously being a Florida State Seminole, I'm kind of partial to Lottie Woad and winning the Augusta the Western Women's Amateur, but Ingrid Lindblad has just had a stellar career.
Rachel Keane on that list from Wake Forest. This for birdie at 7 from short of the green. And there you go. The Demon Deacons trying to make a charge.
See how this happens, now they've made that turn?
They're up to 23 over. Still work needed, but less holes to play, which could serve them well a couple hours from now. Let's go to 16.
Lottie Woad on the tee at 16.
Yeah, playing a little bit down today, 117. That was a pull from Lottie. Needs to settle. It's going to go in that back bunker, I believe.
Yeah, we gave Amelia her bouquets, part of the defending national champions, and Julia, of course, part of that Ole Miss squad that won the national championship at Greyhawk the first year there.
Let's head over to the third. Megan Schofield, the fifth-year senior for Auburn. They're trying to secure a spot in the match play. This from long range. That was for birdie. And the Tigers, like Wake Forest, Karen, finishing up on this front side could help them out.
It really can. And it's fascinating to see the dynamics. I mean, the coaches were all hoping for early tee times earlier on in the week. Now they're hoping for a back nine start.
This back over at the 10th, and Adela Cernousek missing the fairway, but Amelia, it looks like she got a break, didn't she?
She got a great break. Adela's about 50 yards ahead of Carla and Paula, just 211 yards. And where her ball is sitting down, it's actually quite matted, so she can hit just a normal swing on it. The wind's coming out of the right, and the flag is in the middle of the green, so she could land something just short of the green and have it run up. And I say go for it. I don't think there's any reason to lay up in this instance.
Yeah, it looks like she's waiting because there's play on the green with the group ahead. And Amelia, she's got a 3-shot lead. She started the day with 6. At a 6-shot lead, but she's been able to kind of wiggle herself out of some issues with some nice par saves. This could really give her a big jolt of momentum.
Adela has done a great job at clutching up when she's been a little bit unsettled and not hitting some great shots. The last 3 holes, she's made clutch par saves inside of 6 feet. This is an interesting green, just right of the flag. The green tilts from left to right, and if you go left of the flag, it tilts towards the left. So it's almost a bit of a crown. The flag is sitting on a little spine. That's going to land short, hopefully run up.
The aggressive play really, I think, helped her to give that one a go. I mean, if you, I think that's knowing the course and knowing that there's not that much trouble on the right.
Cernousek by 3, trying to lock down the Division I Women's Individual Golf Championship. Rachel Keane on the tee at the par 3 8th, 106 yards today. We're going to follow Rachel's tee shot with Top Tracer technology presented by AT&T. Pretty good. Well done.
Yeah, and you know, taking the right side out of out of the equation. So a miss down the right would have been bad. So
Julia, Lottie Wood has this putt for par. Update us on what happened with her second.
She actually had a really good shot from that bunker. It was a poorly raked bunker, and she caught a really bad lie. Hit a really nice shot here to give herself a look inside 12 feet. You have to be wary of going too long here because it will go into that water, and that's exactly what Julia Lopez Ramirez just did. So all things considered, this is a really nice look for par for Lottie.
So I was out there hitting this putt this morning, Julia, and even though it looks downhill, it's a lot slower than it appears.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm looking at it from behind Lottie, and it looks fairly flat, if not going back uphill at the end.
It does. At the very end, it'll go right back uphill and
like
turn
that?
left. Yep, and turns left and loses speed.
Lottie's going to be in good company there with a bogey on that hole. It's been playing particularly tough.
No birdies at 16 today. And you can see why, Julia. It is just so difficult straight downwind.
Really no way to hold it on that green today.
Over at the 10th, Cernousek's third.
This came out very hot and needs to slow down.
She'll have a look at birdie, but not what she was thinking. Over to the 9th.
Wake Forest freshman Macy Pate for birdie, her final hole. Hopefully not of the week. See if the Demon Deacons can continue this late charge, accounting score. And how about Macy Pate? We talked about it, Karen, but the finishing 7, 8, 9 as opposed to 16, 17, and 18. Wake Forest now solo 9th, and maybe can improve on that, Bob, as Rachel Keene's got a look here at the 8th.
Keene 2 over for the week, but she doesn't care about that right now. They're the defending national champions, and she wants to help her team get back to match play, which begins tomorrow morning. The top 8 teams from today will advance.
And it means so much to players like Rachel. She's a senior. This is the last chance she's going to get to play for Wake, and she doesn't want it to end here. You want to extend it for as long as you possibly can.
You know, they're currently at 20 plus 22. I mean, they could potentially par out and post that number and be okay. San Pedro for birdie at 10.
Coming in with some pace for Paula. And that's what I was talking about. Her wedge shot, she landed it just right of the flag, and then it fed all the way to the right side. So unfortunately was left with a lengthy birdie putt.
Cernousek has not made a par here at the 10th hole this week. 2 birdies and a bogey. And with Woe dropping a shot over at 16, her lead is now 4.
Adela would have wanted to get this birdie putt closer, but coming out of the Bermuda rough, I've grown up on Bermuda rough, and it is just so inconsistent with how it comes off the face. Even if you have a good lie, you never really know if it's going to come out hot or dead. This putt does not have a lot of break to it. It's very flat.
So Cernousek will make par at the 10th. Texas A&M got the last spot at the Bryant, Texas Regional. 13th in the nation. 18 of the top 20 schools advanced to Omni La Costa Resort and Spa here this year. Oregon right now, right on that number. And right now tied for 8th. Chiara Romero for birdie at the 4th.
She had a really good warm-up on the range this morning. Just absolutely crushing her drives and playing very much within herself with her irons, like working on good rhythm.
So the race for the top 8 in full swing. Can the defending champs get inside? Accomplished group working the NCAA Women's Division I Championships. Fordham, yeah, look, I did not play for Fordham, but Karen Stupples was a standout at Florida State. Steve Burkowski, proud Florida Gator. Amelia Miliaccio winning national championship last year with Wake Forest, and Julia Johnson in 2021, part of that Ole Miss squad that took down Oklahoma State 4-1 in the championship match at the NCAA Division I Championships. And let's send it over to the Gator himself, Steve Burkowski.
Thank you, Bob. We pick up Adela Cernousek getting ready to go here on the tee at 11. Short par 4, iron in hand.
I really like this play from Adela going with an iron. It's only playing 285 yards. 215 yards is short of that penalty area on the right. Oh dear, this is headed right. Needs to sit down.
That's why you
take
iron,
a short
right?
club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Garrett Chadwell, third-year head coach for the Aggies, alongside for this back 9 for Adela as we go over to 8.
Mimi Rhodes, tee shot at the 8th. She's a counting score, 2 under on a round today. And that'll feed down that hill just a little bit. Get better and better trying to help the defending champs' cause. Let's head over to 11.
Make our way up to the green here at the par 4, where we pick up Anya Donegan from LSU. Short one for birdie, this to move to 6 under. Tigers currently solo second, so in great position to make it to match play. And even more impressive, Karen, that they're that high in the leaderboard with Ingrid Lindblad, the top-ranked amateur in the world, twice not counting. First time ever in her 5 years, the second round where she failed to break 80, that she did not count for the LSU team total. How about that?
When you told me that this morning, I was just blown away at how consistent she has played golf over the course of her college career.
Yeah, and Lindblad, you know, a lot of fire, a lot of fight. If they make it to match play, watch out, as we hope you're enjoying coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships. It is presented by Stiefel. Great look from high above at this newly renovated golf course, the North Course at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Rave reviews to this point by all the coaches and players as we head over to 17. Lottie Woad getting ready to go.
Beautiful drive here, way down here in the fairway. Only has 68 yards left. This hole's 11 paces on. She can get aggressive with it. Pretty good shot there.
Yep.
Got a great chance to get one back, and she can do that and maybe steal one at the par 5 finishing hole, post 10, sit around and wait.
That's exactly what she's got to be thinking, because these finishing holes are not easy.
And she can lean into what she did at the Augusta National Women's Amateur, birdieing 3 of her last 4, including 17 and 18 on that Saturday. Let's go back to the fairway at 11. You see that whole location. Green now open up for second shots on this par 4. Got Carla Tejado from LSU, Paula Martin, San Pedro, the standout freshman for Stanford, and Adela Cernousek, the junior from Texas A&M, who's leading the way.
Adela is technically away, but it looks like Carla will go first. In college golf, it is ready golf, not necessarily who is away. The other great thing about college golf is the camaraderie out here, not just with your team, but even with the players themselves. Carla, Adela, and Paula, they've all been chatting it away on this 18 holes, and it's been really nice to see. You know, everyone wants to win and be competitive, but they're also all friends out here as well.
And especially this group, Amelia, 3 international players that probably have known each other for quite some time.
And Carla and Paula both being from Spain, so they've been chatting it away. 109 yards for Carla. This is back into the wind, so she should be able to land this on the green. Front flag, this is coming out low, slightly groove low on the face.
I think that happened because she was aiming a little bit out to the right. Like, she was definitely feet, club, everything was outside the green on the right.
So we will keep it right here with Cernousek, and according to Bushnell, 109 to the hole.
Karen, I also find if someone hits a wedge shot poorly, it's because they're trying to hit something full 100% rather than taking something off of it. This is launched nicely towards the flag.
Another good, smart shot.
Well, it is. And I'm a fan of players swinging less than 100%, especially when you're with a wedge, you're trying to control something. I mean, the best players in the world can hit the same club 3 different yardages if they have to. Let's go over to 9. Carolina Chikara finishing up for Wake. This for par. She's a counting score. So we saw the fiery emotions when she birdied 7. Knowing you're giving one back on the last. The ebbs and flows, Bob, as you alluded to, it can swing so quickly.
Yeah, and Burko, you know, through the first 54 holes, right, the number 13 team in the country sits atop the leaderboard here this week. And, you know, yesterday, the number 3 team, South Carolina, number 14, Ole Miss, number 15, Arizona State, number 20, Vanderbilt, didn't make it to today.
And we were gauging, guesstimating that maybe 21 over by days in could be that magic spot to secure a place in the match play tomorrow.
It's looking like a pretty good call in your part, Burko.
We run the numbers, make an educated guess.
You know, if you kind of get going the wrong way, like we saw with South Carolina, and talking with Kaylin Anderson, who does an incredible job with that school, but it just didn't work this week.
And it
whatever
happens.
the reasons.
Yeah, we see it quite often. Some of the top teams just not playing their best. Biggest week in college golf. Green at 17. Birdie putt here for Julia Lopez Ramirez.
Yeah, a little bit longer than she wanted here. She had a bad angle coming over that bunker. It is uphill at the end. She had that. Just kind of lost her putter a little bit these last few holes, going in the wrong direction. Hasn't really made a whole lot.
Yeah, Julia 10 under on the front 9 this week, 8 over to this point on the back 9. Really speaks to the challenges of this finishing stretch. Second on the way for Schofield at the 5th. Well played. Chance for birdie for the Auburn Tiger. Auburn currently in the 7th spot, 17 over, and with a little bit of breathing room. Make our way back to 17. Lottie Woad, great look here.
She'd love to get this one to go after dropping 1 at the last. Putting from above the hole, slightly downhill. Again, kind of a cold putter these last few holes, similar to Julia, but we know how good of a putter she is. This would be big if she could get this one to go.
Center cut, Lottie Woad back to 9 under.
And we saw that a lot at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. I mean, you talk about somebody who came up clutch time after time coming down the stretch.
3 back, heading to the 18th. Can Lottie Woad get one more and post 10 under? Back to the green at 11. Birdie putt for San Pedro for Stanford, trying to get to 5 under.
This is a tricky putt to read because her putt's downhill in the beginning and then uphill towards the hole, breaking to her right. Great putt.
Not only one of the best freshmen in the country, can make the argument one of the 5 or 6 best players in the country. That is how impressive Paula Martin San Pedro is. Another good freshman here, Maria Jose Marin from Arkansas. Also to get the 5 under and needs it for the Razorbacks. Right on cue. Youngsters stepping up, Karen.
Well, I think they come into these programs knowing that their game's good. They've been recruited for a reason. And it's good to see them living up to the expectations.
First birdie of the day for Jose Marin. Cernousek for a birdie of her own at 11.
Trying to get to 1 under par in her round and 13 overall. That was a clutch putt going into her last few holes in this backside.
She's been up to the challenge after 3 straight rounds of 68 to get things going, starting the day with a big lead, Karen, which is where you want to be. But when you've never won before in college golf, the mind can start creeping into things. As we head over to 9, Rachel Keene from Wake Forest. This for par, needs to go for the Demon Deacons. And, all right, still hope, and the wait continues.
And she's been frustrated with the putter as well, so coming up clutch when it's needed.
Less than driver for Lottie Woad at the par 5 18th, Julia.
Yeah, this is a really tight fairway to hit. Water left, water right. I think this is a smart play, but this is headed left, needs to settle.
Well, good news, it's dry.
Over at 7, Katie Cranston for Auburn, counting score. This is for bogey, gets it to go, but the Tigers as a team going to drop a shot. Still inside that top 8 though, but every one is truly meaningful.
The NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships continues tomorrow with quarterfinal coverage, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. And then for more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. First year at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, Carlsbad, California. It will be the home for the men's and women's Division I championships for the next 3 years.
The second for Miriam Iora from Arkansas at 7, just ends up short of the green. We saw Rachel Keene make it from there a short time ago, so possible as the Razorbacks 10 over on the day, currently in the 10th spot, 4 off the number. So Arkansas and others looking to make a charge and secure a spot into Tuesday morning's quarterfinals as match play awaits.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships presented by AT&T. University of Texas, the host university for the NCAA Women's Division I Championship, as well as the men's next week. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California. And that misses the green. Oregon right now currently holding that 8th spot. Woad to play her second at the par 5 18th.
A little bit of limb trouble here. Gonna have to keep it right and draw it, but this is headed out right and not coming back. Needs to settle.
Watch the cart path.
Oh,
bounce off the curb.
Well, interesting now because you've got to take your nearest point of relief, which would be in the thick stuff, so she might have to play it off the cart path.
Annabelle Pancake has this putt for bogey over at 14. Clemson currently in the 5th spot.
They had some wiggle room, Bob, to start the day, but currently just 4 clear of that 8th and final spot. Actually make that 2 clear now. They're headed in the wrong direction. And you touched on it. when things start snowballing the wrong way for some teams.
I mean, they're 16 over today as a team. Take you over to the par 3 12th. As the Cernousek group waiting for the green to clear. We check back in with Amelia.
Yeah, this is a difficult par 3, so these players just waiting a couple minutes here. Probably going to end up being maybe about a 5 to 7 minute wait. So it's good that a couple of these players, Paula and Adela, both have their coaches with them. They can give them a little chat.
From a disposition standpoint, Amelia, Cernousek has seemed pretty relaxed, all things considered.
Adela has been relaxed, and I think it's because of the putter. She's really saved herself. She's been a little off the tee. She's missed a lot of shots to the right, but she's clutched up with that putter, and it's been really impressive.
Cernousek has not won an event collegiately. Trying to win the individual championship. 2022 all SEC freshman team. 7 top 10 finishes in 10 collegiate events this season. So she's clearly trending. 2024 first team all SEC. Came in 3rd in the Bryan Regional. Ingrid Lindblad of LSU won at 12 under.
And speaking with Gary Chadwell, the Texas A&M coach, earlier this year, speaking about Adela, works her tail off, always been a great ball striker. Amelia's referenced it. The putting has now caught up to complete her game. She lives right next to the practice facility, so she spends countless hours out there, always thinks of the team first, and qualified for the U.S. Open last week, was the medalist, and she said that sort of validated, Karen, all the hard work she's put into her game the last couple of years.
And what a dream come true for anybody that loves to play golf and to practice, to live right by the facility. I mean, that's amazing.
Amelia, what about the wind here at the 12th?
It started to pick up actually just right about now. So the wind has been pretty steady all day, but now just picking up a little more because it's more open. There are no trees lining this hole. So up to 10 miles an hour max. So that's usually about a full club. This is a longer par 3 for these players, playing 178 yards. 5-iron for Adela. She's going to try and fight something into this wind. She generally hits it high, so let's see if she can flight this one properly. This is right at the flag, just left of it.
That's a really good shot there at the 12th. Let's go back over to 7.
Anna Foster from Auburn. This for birdie. Tigers could use it. And she gets it right on the mark there. How about that inward 9? 3 under, back-to-back birdies. So we watch Anna Davis, her teammate.
Yeah, this for par at the 6th.
Talk about Lottie Woad winning the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Anna Davis did it back in 2022.
Over to the 9th.
And Mimi Rhodes from Wake Forest. This for par. Needs it, as Rachel Keene did a short time ago. That's clutch.
Yeah.
Couple under in this final round. Has Wake done enough? They're in at 22 over. Now they can sit and watch Oregon, Clemson, Auburn, and UCLA.
I knew that's not. I'm not.
So, Julie, what was the ruling off the bank, off the curb of the cart path?
Just nearest point of relief. She got to take it on the other side of the cart path.
Correct. So, I mean, if we hit it towards that, if we hit it towards that guy sitting down, I'm not going to have a yeah, with the car. Yeah. Okay.
Now, Karen, she got really lucky here as she misses the shot to the right, hits the cart path, And fortunately, that's right where the curb starts. Yep. A foot to the right, and that's in the thick penalty area. Now her third at 18.
155 out. Hole only cuts 6 paces off the left. Needs to be smart and keep it just a little outside right. This is a really nice looking golf shot. Needs to sit.
Chases into the bunker at 18. It's not a big landing area at the 18th to try to get it close with that hole location today. Woad 4 back, playing her final hole. Cernousek in front. Katie Cranston is a counting score for Auburn. And this putt is for par. And that will be a bogey. Again, Auburn trying to hang on to that spot inside the top 8. She's got 1 hole to play and a counting score. Now over at 18, Lottie Woad will play her 4th shot. 3 under on her round today. Started the day 6 back. Currently sits at 5 back.
And she's just walking around trying to find a portion of the screen that she could hit it to hit a safe shot. She's on a slight downslope in this bunker, and then if she were to take the line of the pin, there's a pretty big hill that's just going to propel this ball forward. She really does not have a whole lot here. Just to keep it on the green in line with the pin would be a really impressive shot.
You know, when you think about it, Julia, if she can get this up and down and post her number, Cernousek has to play the 4 hardest holes in the golf course yet. 13, 16, 15, and 18. It's got to hold on. It's got to hold on.
I cannot tell you how good that shot was. I mean, that is so impressive. Big smiles. She knows how difficult that was and how big that was.
I had no other option.
Julia, another foot, right? And it's off the green and all the way down. Now over at the 12th, Cernousek with this putt for birdie. Try to widen her lead.
Cernousek and her head coach Jared Chadwell spent a while reading this putt. It's one of those putts that's really tricky to read. When I stood behind it, it looked like it was going to the right. Then when I stood on the opposite side, it looks like it was going left. This is the closest birdie putt she's had in the last 8 holes besides the par 5 10th.
Comes up a little short. You know, when you think about having to play 13, the hardest hole on the course, 16, the second hardest hole, 15, the third hardest hole, and 18, the 4th hardest hole, that would have been a nice little cushion for her to make that one. Over at the 6th, 3rd shot, Kiara Romero, Oregon, trying to stay inside that top 8. And that is beautifully done. Julio Lopez Ramirez has a birdie putt here at the 18th. Got off to a fast start. 5 under through our opening 10. 3 over since.
A little bit of poor ball striking, and that putter kind of left her too, missing a few putts coming down this stretch. It's a beautiful shot in here to set up this birdie look. She's on that hill we were talking about that Lottie was having to contend with, so it'll be pretty quick moving left to right on her. After a poor back 9, she'd love to see this one go and finish her tournament off with a bang.
We saw her make a late charge at the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate as well, Julia. Just wasn't able to keep it rolling. Just comes up short. We want to thank Jet Hannes, the U.S. Air Force cadet for the ROTC, University of California, San Diego, from Coronado, California, tending the flag at the 18th today. Both his brother and father, proud members of the Air Force. So we thank Jet and his family for their service. Now Woad for par to post her number.
She really couldn't have left this in a better spot. Fairly flat putt, maybe even slightly back uphill. She kind of got to see what Julia's ball did there, moving left to right. This should be a little bit straighter. And she's so good with this putter. This would be a massive putt. We've talked about how difficult this back nine is. If she can post, she might give herself a chance here.
Wow, what a par by Lottie Woad. So she shoots a 3 under today. Started the day 6 back. Trails by 4 right now. But again, Cernousek has to play 4 hard holes on the golf course. The 4 hardest holes all coming here in the final handful. The LPGA Tour offers an exemption into the Dana Open for the NCAA Women's Golf Championship. The individual champion will receive an exemption into the tournament. It'll be held at Highland Meadows Golf Club in Toledo, Ohio, July the 18th through the 21st. Will it be Lottie Woad? She was the winner at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Will she win the individual title? Over at the 6th, Arkansas's Jose Marin for birdie. Arkansas right now on the outside looking in, but that certainly will help the cause. Wake Forest is already done for the day at plus 22. So not only do we have the individual title on the line today on this championship Monday here in Carlsbad, California, but the individual champion will be crowned. Can Adela Cernousek hold off all chargers?
We are back on the tee at 13. Carla Tejado from LSU getting ready to go. She's got driver.
This is a really tricky dogleg right. She set this out to the right and it's fading, needs to cover.
That's going to end up in a good spot for Carla. We've touched on this finishing stretch, Amelia, 13 through 18 today, playing about a stroke and 3/4 over par among the field to this point. Cernousek, though, round 1, last 6 holes she played in 1 over. Round 2, 4 under. Round 3, even par. So while many here this week have been challenged, the fact that Adela Cernousek has played the final 6 holes the first 3 days in 3 under par, that might serve her well as she tries to win a national championship. But before that, we will watch Paula Martin San Pedro from Stanford.
I was speaking with Stanford head coach Ann Walker earlier today, and she said patience and discipline is the team that's going to play well today if you have those 2 qualities. And Paula, she's been taking less than driver. She knows what she feels comfortable doing and what she doesn't. She's taken this at the right side of the bunker.
I tell you what, Ann Walker knows her stuff. When she says patience, discipline, you need patience to play this golf course because not everything's going to go your way all the time. And you need discipline. And discipline comes from target discipline. Sticking to your targets, hitting your targets, not getting distracted by being overly aggressive. Stick to your game plan.
And Karen, Adela is going to need that target discipline because when she has missed her driver, it has gone to the right, and there's penalty area right. 246 carry if you start to hit it out over to the right, but that carry only increases, so she needs to block those misses out and just focus exactly where she needs to go, starting at the right side of the bunker. And that's starting right of the bunker and fading. That should be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Confident swing with the driver.
With all the trouble down the right, you have a bunker through the fairway too, and she blew it past all of that.
And while we have a moment, let's send it down to Amy Rogers.
Thanks so much. Here with Lottie Woad. Lottie, you came into this final day 6 off the lead. What was your strategy for this final round?
Well, I knew I needed to play well and go low. Just trying to, create birdie opportunities, but you also can't force it on this course with the greens being so firm. So I had to play away from a few pins still. So I'll just kind of be wary of that a little bit as well.
Do you feel like you did enough on this final day to give Adela Cernousek something to think about over this closing stretch as she still faces some tough holes coming up?
I feel like she'll think about it, but I think I need a couple more. The last few holes are tough, so you never know, but she seems to be playing well, so I think she'll be fine.
You played very well this season as well, a winner in Augusta, the ACC Women's Golf Player of the Year. Not a single finish outside the top 10. How would you describe this season overall?
Yes, it's been a great season for me. It's definitely been consistent, kind of been contended in most events, which is, great. Just gives me lots of experience trying to win tournaments, so yeah.
Thanks so much, Lottie. Great playing today.
Thank you.
Take a look at Lottie Woad. This was her 4th shot at 18, and Karen, this is as good as you could possibly do from that position.
It is, and she's rapidly grown into that kind of a player that if you've got a championship on the line or something on the line, you want her in that position to play the shots.
Then she rolls this in for par. 369 is the best round recorded so far today. With the individual championship on the line here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Kajal Mistry on the tee at the 8th, trying to help Arkansas's cause.
Yeah, good play, buddy.
Right now they're on the outside looking in. Mistry is having a rough day. Currently 2 over on her round. She is a counting score. So when you start focusing here, you take a look at Clemson, UCLA, Oregon, Auburn. Right now they're inside. Wake Forest has posted 22 over. They sit tied for 9th right now. Arkansas, they're going to need a couple birdies coming in. Oregon has had a rough day as a team, as has Clemson, but there's a lot of things that can change here in the next hour and a half or so. To 7.
Kiara Romero, Oregon freshman. She's 4 under, her 2nd.
Radio's not on, so when you...
Pretty sporty play there, Karen. We've seen a lot of players try to come up short and get to that front hole location.
Well, what's good is that she's thinking about the pitch and roll. She's not just using her rangefinder to shoot the flag.
Chloe Holder is a counting score for Clemson. This is a par putt. Clemson currently at 18 over, and that's not in. So she's going to drop a shot. Kajal Mistry for birdie at 18. Again, Arkansas trying to move into that top 8. Right now they're on the outside looking in. Let's go over to 13.
Paula Martin San Pedro from Stanford. She's getting ready to go. The Cardinal in a great spot, Amelia, currently 2nd as a team, looking to make match play every year that this championship has been held. It's the 9th go around for the ladies. Pretty impressive stuff.
And Paula, as a freshman, has been so impressive. Just her top 5 finishes. She's had 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Her worst finish this season is a tie for 16th at the Pac-12 championship. So she is certainly a leader despite being one of the younger girls on the team. This from 162, pulled it slightly towards the middle part of the green.
safely aboard, but a long way from the hole. Over at 9, Katie Cranston counting score for Auburn. This for par, and that is enormous. They have a sense, Karen, but they're never quite sure.
It's anything can happen, and we've seen it so many times. But
her teammate Casey Weidenfeld, the counting score over at 8, has this putt for bogey.
ooh,
So one offsets the other, and Auburn stays right where they are, currently inside the top 8.
I think when you're looking down through those teams, the ones that are finishing on the front side, we've been saying this, do have a massive advantage over the ones finishing on the back side.
Let's go back out to 13. Tournament leader Adela Cernousek getting ready to go. Looks like a good angle from this left-hand side.
Adela has a great angle. She can pretty much go right at it despite the flag being all the way on the right side. And the advantage from taking a driver, she just has 113 yards and she hits it nice and high. So she should be able to land this one soft. Back into the breeze as well.
Greens are getting firmer, Karen. You can hear that,
Yep.
that sound on that first hop.
We've had quite a bit of sunshine here today. The wind's been up. It just kind of saps all the moisture out of the greens.
Anna Davis on the tee at the 8th. Anna even on her round today. 2 holes to play as Auburn needs some quality shots to try to stay inside that top 8. She'll have a decent look at birdie. Back to 7.
Kiara Romero from Oregon. This for birdie. Hit a wonderful second to this point. Would help the cause for the Ducks to get into match play. Right on line, just didn't hit it. And again, Karen, another one of these talented freshmen that seemingly don't need an adjustment period. Kiara's won twice in her first year in Eugene.
And I think, you know, you're looking at players that are particularly talented, and we're just getting a chance to see them.
The race for 8 continues. Oregon, Clemson currently in, as well as Auburn. Has Wake done enough? We will find out. Paula Martin, San Pedro. Long birdie effort.
She came this one with some pace, but it's slowing down at the hole. She read that one or judged the speed nicely.
Karen, it's part of the challenge when you come to a venue that no one has seen after the restoration. There's no past intel to lean into like we saw for 3 years at Greyhawk.
No, exactly. And that's where, you know, coaches play an important role in telling the players and giving them the ammunition strategy-wise. Say, this is what you should do in these situations. This is the lines you need to take. These are the things you need to think about when you're on this tee or this approach.
Now Cernousek to extend her lead.
The flat stick has been her strength. Adela has had some great speed putts. This one coming back down the hill, breaking to her left.
Another one well judged. A little help from the ball mark as well, but was always going to be within a foot or so. 2-putt par for Adela. She'll remain at 13 under. Maintaining that 4-shot lead, and has been up to the challenge beginning this day with that big lead. And there's a little kiss off the poker chip. Maybe it would have gone by another half a foot to a foot. Really not an issue.
No.
Paula tapping in, 2-putt par for the Stanford freshman. So we make our way over to 8.
Minoru Nagano has this putt for birdie. Nagano currently 1 over and his accounting score. Senior from Tokyo trying to help Oregon get in that top 8. Ahead to the 9th.
Tiffany Wong from Oregon, this for par, finishing up. Oh, and what a big putt there by Tiffany. So that's going to help the Ducks and their chances to move on to match play as we head back to 8.
Anna Davis for birdie. That comes up short. Again, Auburn is inside the top 8 as of now. And again, if you want to finish, the front 9 is the easier touch coming in compared to holes 10 through 18. Hope you're enjoying coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships presented by Stiefel. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course. Gil Hanse and Jim Wagner did the restoration of this golf course, an original Dick Wilson, which opened in 1965. University of Texas, the host institution. Kendall Todd taps that in for par. She's a counting score for Arkansas. Obviously got off to a rough start, but pars are good. But Arkansas needs a birdie or two. Back over to the par 3 8th, the 17th hole of the day for this group, and Julia has joined this group. Maria Jose Marin will be first to play.
And if Arkansas needs a birdie, they're looking at this girl to do it. She is so good.
Tracer Technology presented by AT&T as we'll follow the tee shot of Marin.
Headed right, needs to sit.
As aggressive.
That is really aggressive, Karen. A lot of these players looking just barely out left, and that is a mistake that Arkansas cannot roll forward right now.
You are right there.
No, because they're tied with Wake Forest, who's done on the outside looking in. Kiara Romero of Oregon next to play.
Really nice round today, going in windy conditions. Again, the safe play here is just barely out to your left. Don't take on too much of this hole today. Really high shot here.
Hang on, it will. Ahead to the 9th.
Casey Weidenfeld from Auburn, her second shot. Counting score for the Tigers. Currently Casey 3 under in this final round. Hang in there now.
That's not going to be that easy. Doesn't have a huge amount of green to use there.
Take you over to 14, and Adela Cernousek of Texas A&M started the day with a 6-shot lead. Lottie Wood has posted 9 under, trying to win the NCAA Women's Division I Championship, the individual title.
This is a tricky tee shot. There's a penalty area running across the fairway, so Adela should be aiming out to the left side. 215 to clear the penalty area. This is blocked to the right. It actually could be okay, though. It might get right of the penalty area and stay short.
And it's exactly what it did.
That is lucky.
Karen, when it's your week, you get lucky like that.
It's so true.
Back over to 9.
Ching Soo Chen from Oregon getting ready to go. One of 2 ducks at 3 over par, her second. All right, that is pretty impressive considering the situation as the Ducks trying to secure a spot moving into match play for the 2nd time in 3 years. But Adela Cernousek, the junior from Texas A&M, in search of her first collegiate victory. She has a 4-shot lead halfway through this back 9. Lottie Wood has posted at 9 under, and there's the team component. Stanford trying to become the #1 seed for the 4th straight year, but it's the race to 8. We're back at 17. Annabelle Pancake from Clemson. This for birdie. Tigers could use it. Currently tied for 5th, but only a few strokes clear of that magical top 8. And pretty clutch right there by Pancake. Let's make our way over to 8. Looks like Kiara Romero from Oregon getting ready to go, Bob.
Julia, what about this putt that Romero is facing?
Well, fortunately, she just got a really good look from Megan. A really similar putt. Pretty quick in the first half here, and then once it gets to the hole, it'll level out just slightly. Megan played a really beautiful putt out to the left and just let that hill take it right.
Been 4 birdies at the 8th all day today.
It's a very, very difficult hole location that requires a lot of discipline to hit it exactly where Kiara and Megan hit it. And just give yourself a look here, put a good putt on it, and see if it can go in.
Oh, I thought that was going to keep turning in the hole. What a great putt.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Karen. She played that hole exactly how you're supposed to. Sometimes it can be hard to be disciplined, and that was really well done by Kiara.
But a par is good for Oregon as they're inside the top 8. Now Cernousek to play her second. And Amelia, does she have any idea that she has a 4-shot lead and that Wood is posted 9 under?
A couple of holes ago, there was a leaderboard, and Adela did look at it, so she knows where she stands. And she did not know where her ball ended up, so definitely gave a huge sigh of relief to see it in play. You have to land this a little short and left. You don't want to mess it all with the right side. This is right at it, drawing just a little. Very smart play from Adela. You just cannot be long. There's a penalty area right, and that was just really smart from where she's standing.
Well, it's time now for College Memories, presented by Stiefel. Take it back to Greyhawk last year, NCAA Individual Championship. Rose Zhang trying to repeat her second into the 6th. This would be her second birdie of the day, and this would get her to 8 under par. And Rose Zhang kind of cruised along in that final round and took care of business with a 68 in the final round. 3rd consecutive Stanford golfer to win the women's individual title as she won back-to-back, the first ever to win back-to-back. Rachel Heck had won it in 2021. Finished her college career with the most wins in Stanford history. We'll take a look at some of the recent champions. Rose Zhang winning back-to-back. The Stanford women's streak of 3 in a row is going to come to an end. Maria Fossey won it in 2019. Jennifer Kupcho in 2018 after nearly winning in 2017. Virginia Elena Carter set the scoring record. Shot 16 under par back in 2016 at Eugene Country Club. Emma Talley, a winner at Concession. First woman from Alabama to win an individual title. As we take you out to 9.
Casey Weidenfeld from Auburn, counting score for the Tigers. This for par on her last hole of the day. And now the lead for Auburn is just 1 over Wake Forest. Tigers in that 8th and final spot that would move on to match play. And after a solid start the first couple of days, a bit of a struggle for Weidenfeld the last 2.
Elena Barrientos has a lengthy birdie putt for birdie at 18. And now she's a counting score for Clemson. Shoots 81, but as a counting score, and that birdie huge for Clemson, which is currently in the 5th spot right now. So you take a look at the team leaderboard right now. Auburn, 6th in the country coming into this week, has a 1-shot lead over Wake Forest, number 2 in the country. The defending national champions have posted that plus 22. Back over to the 9th.
Anna Davis getting ready with her second. Nice shot, wonderful kick. And with Megan Schofield behind her as a non-counting score for the Tigers, a 2-putt for Anna Davis there would finish Auburn at 21 over. And likely securing that 8th and final spot. Still some scenarios, but for Auburn, heck of a shot at a big moment.
Yeah, they would need Wake Forest, as an example, would need Oregon to fall apart here down the stretch. Cernousek just off the front of the green for birdie at 14.
Cernousek was so close to getting this ball about 6 feet hole high. She came out of the Bermuda rough and just landed it about a foot shorter than she needed to. This is going to swing to her right.
Pretty stress-free par there for her in the end after that tee shot worked out just fine.
She still has to play the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hardest holes. 16 is the 2nd hardest, 15 is the 3rd hardest, and 18 is the 4th hardest. She's got a 4-shot lead. Individual championship on the line today on this Monday from Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course in Carlsbad, California. The 42nd edition of the NCAA Women's Division I Championship, hosted by the University of Texas. UCLA's right now in a good spot. Canales for birdie at 18. That's got to slow down. So work left for her par.
And she's a counting score at 4 over for the Bruins. Kate Bajagas in at 5 over for UCLA. So currently the drop score for the folks from LA. So at worst, that scenario, they can only get one worse with a bogey there.
Correct. Lindblad for par at 16. Not the kind of week that you'd expect out of Ingrid, but her team is currently in 2nd place, so they're going to be in match play, and then you can just white ball this clean, the individual stroke play performance, and go out, and she's as good a match player as you'll find.
I think she's going to be fierce in that match play, and just amazing really to see that she hasn't performed as we were expecting here, but I think maybe the fact it's her last chance to win a national championship individually is getting to her a little bit.
Can Nelly Corda win again? She'll continue her historic run. She'll have to earn golf championship against the greatest competition. The U.S. Women's Amateur presented by Ally begins Thursday, May the 30th on USA, NBC, and Peacock. Cernousek playing here this week is in the field. We saw Ingrid Lindblad in the field this week. Lottie Woad is in the field. San Pedro for birdie at 14. You think about UCLA freshmen Rose Zhang and Rachel Heck won national championships as freshmen. Now over to 9.
Minori Nagano from Oregon. This for birdie. Ducks currently at 19 over par. And Nagano is a counting score, so this could just all but seal a spot in the match play for head coach Derek Radley. No harm done there. 2-putt par. Good round by Nagano. Steady week for Minori, and you think about the Oregon Ducks making it all the way to the national championship match 2 years ago. They didn't even qualify for this championship in 2023. So what a bounce back it would be. Stanford, only team under par. They're 2 under and looking to head back to match play. Back on the tee at 15, Adela Cernousek getting ready to go with that 4-shot lead.
Smart play for Cernousek to go with less than driver off the tee. 238 to get to stay short of that front bunker. This is headed to the right, but should be okay. It's a pretty wide fairway.
Yeah, that will work.
Yeah. But you can see he's not very far away from the trouble.
Let's head over to 9. Auburn freshman Anna Davis. This for birdie. 2 putts. Should be good enough to send the Tigers to match play. Why take 2 when you can do it in 1? If you need to lean on somebody to get the job done, you could do a whole lot worse than Anna Davis.
Comprehensive renovation at Omni La Costa was recently completed by Hans Golf Course Design. The North Course features 6 sets of tees, creating flexibility to play from 4,500 to 7,500 yards. Additional portions of the completed project are environmental in nature, like transitioning irrigation lines, continue to use reclaimed water, man-made ponds, introduction to national barrancas, and composed of drought-tolerant native species. Hans and his team implemented significant design changes with the NCAA match play format in mind.
Let's head over to 9. Kiara Romero, the Oregon freshman, getting ready for her second.
114 in. She has a pitching wedge in her hand, hole cut way back today, just 4 paces behind this whole location. Beautiful high shot in here, the left.
Same tempo we saw on the range this morning.
It was. And just, I mean, perfect timing. You know, the little slight pause at the top before she starts a downswing. Everything about it just looks like she's meant to play golf.
Won the U.S. Girls Junior last year on the campus of the Air Force Academy. And now you've got the teams converging. Auburn, Oregon, rooting those final couple of players in and crunching the numbers like we all are, Bob. Have we done enough? Yeah. Did we get to Tuesday morning in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, and right now Wake Forest is on the outside looking in. They've posted plus 22. See Auburn right now in that 8th spot.
We head over to 15. Adela Cernousek getting ready to go with her second shot, hanging on to that big lead. And according to Bushnell, Adela's got 108 to the hole, and head coach Garrett Chadwell, as he's been all day long, right by her side, going over every possible scenario.
Adela did miss this shot off the tee, but it's actually going to be to her benefit because she'll have a fuller wedge in, and she has a better angle coming in from the right side of this fairway. At this point in the round for Adela, with just a few holes to play, it's really important to be middle of the green. Her team's already in match play. She doesn't need to worry about the team score. Just play conservative, get the ball in the middle of the green, and move on to the next hole.
Amelia, as a coach, been there pretty much most of the way.
End up at the blue thing?
I love it. Finish right on that blue thing.
The advantage Adela's going to have on this wedge shot is her ability to be able to get her ball up in the air. These greens are just quite firm, and the wind is slightly down off the right. So to be able to control the ball is key on these greens.
She'll get away with it.
Yeah, it's a good leave.
But when you're that good of a ball striker, Karen, and that's the strength of your game, it's hard not with a wedge in hand. It's, I can go right at it.
But that's part of the discipline that needs to be played on this golf course.
Now Carla Tejeda.
Carla has 92 yards, and discipline is also required here. There's a big fall off if you do miss it on the left side. So again, just get your number and don't get too aggressive. Long is also a steep fall off. This trying to clear the bunker.
She can exhale now.
I mean, what you don't see is that behind the green, there's a big slope and fall off down towards the penalty area. So players are very aware that anything long is going to be a big problem here.
Third member of this group, Paula Martin San Pedro.
Paula's played some solid golf today. 3 birdies and just 1 bogey on the card. Her putter is also a huge strength of hers. Is coming slightly low, going to carry the bunker.
Yeah, I think players just run that fine line between that front edge of the green and that flag, because the penalty for going long is just too great.
Stanford leading the way as a team, 2 clear of Texas A&M. As we head over to the 9th, Kiara Romero has got this for birdie, and the Ducks looking pretty good. We know their fans are out here, at least some of them, as we saw earlier, and looking to get back to match play, and we got a clean slate when that happens.
Well, Burko has got 3 putts. Or 4 putts.
Yeah.
Because Oregon is at 19.
Yeah.
Auburn's in at 20. And Wake has posted 22.
Yeah, so it need to be a calamity of sorts over the next 90 seconds for Oregon not to move on.
First bit of this putt really downhill, and then it'll level out as it gets towards the hole, but I can't see her being too aggressive with this. That's a really good putt.
It's going to be good enough for Oregon to make it back to match play. And Karen, after that ball cozied up nicely, there was a big exhale by Romero, knowing just how big a moment it was. And they've had a variety of lineups throughout the year, has Oregon, in the fall, in the spring, finally settling in on a 5 over the last 6 weeks. So a team that we saw in Hilton Head that finished 17th, apparently in disarray in terms of finding something that worked. You never know now, because match play. They've got the experience making that championship match a couple of years ago.
Now over to 15, Burko.
Yeah, Paula Martin San Pedro just short of the green. There's only been 5 birdies on this hole today, 8 doubles or worse. So even though it's short on the card, it's a challenge.
I was going to say that, Burko. It might be a wedge in hand, but players are really struggling because of how challenging the greens are. It was a good effort by Paula. She's going to give Adela and Carla a really good idea of the speed because they're in a similar spot, just closer to the hole.
When you think about Stanford losing Rose Zhang, maybe the greatest we've ever seen play college golf, Rachel Heck has battled injuries, won regionals, her first win in 800 days collegiately. But then for your Ann Walker, you've got Mega Gane, Kelly Sue. Oh, let's bring in Paula Martin San Pedro. It is a continual revolving door of talent going to Palo Alto, and talented young lady right here, and Cernousek trying to extend her lead.
This putt for Cernousek, she's going to be putting up a tier about halfway with her putt, and then it will go back down the hill, breaking to her right. It's a relatively straightforward speed putt, but when you're leading by 4 in the NCAA championship, it feels a whole lot bigger. It's just really important to stay in the process, exactly what you need to do on this shot. No reason to think ahead of yourself.
A little bit to think about there.
Yes. I think that little upslope really kind of got her fooled at first. I thought she felt like she had to really give that a good amount of energy, but once it got to the top of that hill, it just accelerated away. But as the holes continue, as you start getting deeper and deeper into your round of golf, it's easier for your mind to wander, and you allow yourself to think about the possibilities.
Now Tejado for birdie.
After seeing 2 putts from behind, Tejado should have a good idea. Get this one really close. It is difficult anytime you're putting up a tier and then back down to judge that speed correctly. It is easy to play the uphill too much.
So both of them fooled Karen just a little bit.
And then, you know, Taylor's got to be really cross with herself because she had the opportunity to see it. So she knew what she was up against.
So par putts remaining for these 3 as we watch Cernousek, and talking with Gary Chadwell, the Texas A&M coach, earlier in the day, said, I wish I had 5 more Adela Cernouseks on my team. Does it the right way, understands the peaks, the valleys, the ups and downs of this game, works tirelessly at improving. And Amelia, you know firsthand, when you can look to someone as talented as this young lady as your leader, doing the work on and off the golf course, that can be infectious throughout a lineup.
Having a leader on the team is everything, and the fact that she's a junior and has another year to be able to lead this Texas A&M team is everything.
Rock solid.
Yeah, when you think about what could happen at 16, that's a huge par save there to maintain a 3-shot lead. Well, the defending national champion Wake Forest team realizes that their season has come to an end as they finish outside the top 8. Meanwhile, Auburn, they locked it down the stretch, as did the Oregon Ducks. So the match play teams are set. A little something to do with the order still, but of course, hosting the women's and men's next week. Division I golf championships, 9th year the same venue has hosted both the women and the men. Over at the difficult 16th, Anya Donegan.
Only been
one birdie today
at
16. Texas A&M's Blanca Fernandez Garcia Pollo has the only birdie at 16.
That's a good shot there. You can see it being downwind, greens are firm. Lots of players have struggled to keep this ball on the green.
Over at 18, Jenny Park playing her third.
Nestled down a little bit in the Bermuda rough there.
So really the only thing left to be decided is who will be the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 seeds.
Hello, Flyer.
Yeah, to that point, Bob, Southern California, Clemson, they're not changing at 4-5, so we know those two teams will square off tomorrow morning in one of the quarterfinals.
Now, Ingrid Lindblad of LSU. Currently, as a team, they're 1 over and in 3rd place.
Which is remarkable considering that the top-ranked amateur in the world has struggled for much of the week, Karen, that they're making it to match play. And you reference it. You don't want to go head-to-head against Ingrid tomorrow.
No, and speaking with Julia earlier today too, she basically said the same thing, that Ingrid is just fearsome in match play to play against, and that's going to be pretty wild to watch.
LSU headed to match play in quest of a national championship. Top 3 seeds still up for grabs on this Monday. Donegan of LSU has a birdie putt. There's only been 1 birdie at 16 today. LSU currently in the 3rd position. Stanford and Texas A&M are tied for the lead in the team competition.
Oh, you're saying that putt's been fooling everybody today. Just goes back uphill.
It's like that last little bit, it goes back uphill. Meanwhile, Cernousek is in the group behind. Not the hole you want to wait around on. Let's go over to 18. Ingrid Lindblad has a putt for birdie.
Getting a little bit of help from Alexis Rather, her assistant coach. Gonna have to deal with this slope coming off of the back bunker. I believe fairly flat, maybe slightly uphill at the end. Settle.
And Bob, to put it in perspective, you look at Ingrid Lindblad. She could have turned pro a year ago, came back for a 5th year. Same for Latana Stone. You've got Carla Tejado as a senior. This is, Karen, a squad built to win it now. Their opportunity to win a national championship might never get better than what they've got in front of them here the next couple of days.
No, and you've been saying this for, since South Carolina.
Yeah, I've been bullish on the prospects that when they come back, make it verbally known we're here to win a national championship. Ingrid struggling, you would have said, okay, it didn't materialize. So credit to Anya Donegan, Taylor Riley, who you can make the argument had even more pressure on them considering, oh, wow, Ingrid's struggling just a little bit this week.
Exactly.
Green has cleared. And the final group now on the tee over at the par 3 16th. Adela Cernousek with a 3-shot lead, trying to lock down the NCAA Division I Women's Individual Golf Championship. First up, Paula Martin San Pedro.
This is another one
Tracer
of those
technology presented by AT&T, Julia.
This is another one of those tricky little wedge holes. Oh my goodness. How about that break? Oh, don't get unlucky. One of those holes where it's just 117 yards, but you're just hoping to hit the green. Well, Paula got a little bit of a backstop there on the flagstick.
Well, Stanford hasn't played this hole well today. They're 6 over as a team. And right there, right off the flagstick, she'll have a look at birdie. the talented freshman. Stanford right now is tied with Texas A&M for the top seed. Carla Tejado next to play.
She's coming off of a 3-putt bogey on the last, back-to-back bogeys on her last 2 holes. It's important not to get greedy on this flag because it is a tricky one to get close to. This coming in from the right and drawing. Wow, that bounce, Karen, is just crazy.
There's a huge bounce with, it's a wedge or a gap wedge these players are playing. It's just massive.
Well, you know, Karen, then that's only natural when you have a course that had a restoration. With this green was moved. Gil Hanse's vision was to make this similar to number 12 at Augusta with that bunker there. If you are short to hit the front of the green, it will roll all the way back down into the water, into the penalty area, as Cernousek last to play.
This will be a gap wedge for Cernousek. If you do take it just right of the flag, you have to be careful. There's the green slopes a little bit to the right, but if you can keep it where Carla was, then that area behind the flag is the longest part of the green. If you get this too far left, you risk going in the bunker long. This is right at it.
There's that big hop to the back of the green, but Karen, that's the miss that you have to have here when you have a 3-shot lead.
It really is. You cannot afford to be cute with it and end up going back into the water.
Jenny Park for par, Julia.
Yeah, uphill, moving left to right. Pretty good speed.
So she shoots 80 in her final round. Stanford, Texas A&M battling for the #1 seed, even for the week. Over at the 16th, Cernousek off the back of the green for birdie, currently has the lead in the individual, stands at 13 under.
I won't be surprised if this ends up a little short. Not only does it flatten more than the players think, but when you have a 3-shot lead and you're about to win the biggest tournament of your life, you're not necessarily playing aggressive.
And that comes up a little short, and maybe a little too short, but she's been so steady, Amelia, on those putts.
Her start line has been incredible. Every single short putt has gone in the center of the cup, and that's a mark of not only good technique but also confidence in these pressure situations.
2 birdies, 1 bogey for Adela Cernousek as she tries to lock up the individual title today. Started the day with a 6-shot lead. Her lead is now 4. And Amelia, I'm guessing Carla Tejado got a nice little teach off the speed, at least, from Cernousek.
Carla got a great read from Adela. She's just a couple feet in front of her and to her left. Definitely should be able to go to school on this one.
Well judged. Tejado in red figures for the week, and she'll stay that way with a par at 16, currently 1 under. While we have a moment, let's send it down to Julia with Kim Llewellyn, the head coach of the defending national champion Wake Forest team.
Coach, I know it's not how you wanted today to finish, but can you talk to me about the fight of your team and how proud you are of them?
Yes, the way they came, the back 9, it was like a birdie fest on the back 9, and they really came alive. To be honest, we didn't have our stuff this week up until the back 9, and there for a minute we thought we had a chance.
Yeah, an amazing team, amazing seniors. Talk to us about them and what they've meant to your program, bringing a national championship to this team last year.
Rachel Keene and Mimi Rhodes, and Mimi Rhodes had actually an outstanding tournament this year, and Rachel Keene being an All-American ever since she's been here. We have a lot to be proud of. National championship last year, ACC championship this year. They're great team leaders. We're going to miss them next year.
Yeah, we expect you back here next year. Good playing, Coach.
Thank you.
And Wake Forest finished third at Bermuda Run to advance to the NCAAs. You know, the fight that she talked about, they have the second best score as a team today. Wake Forest shot 2 over. Kudos to Justin Silverstein and USC, the only team to shoot under par today. USC was 1 under. Now, Cernousek for par here at 16 to maintain that 4-shot lead.
Cernousek taking her time on reading this putt. Shouldn't be a whole lot in it. Important for her to get the pace right.
Man, she has been so good at that today. So with 2 holes to play, Texas A&M's Adela Cernousek with a 4-shot lead trying to claim the individual title here in Carlsbad.
To Monday at La Costa, final day of stroke play here at the 2024 Women's Division I National Championships. Adela Cernousek has the 4-shot lead on the tee at 17.
Cernousek going with less than driver. It's 232 to clear the bunkers on the right. She's trying to keep this left of those bunkers. It is going over those bunkers. She pushed a little, so it needs to carry.
That will work, Karen.
Yeah, no problem at all. Nice little bit of adrenaline carrying that ball extra deep.
Yeah, she's played the 6 hardest holes today at even par. The field more than 2 strokes over par. Cernousek has been up to the challenge as we send it down to Amy Rogers.
Thanks so much, Berko, here with Derek Radley with Oregon, securing your position in that top 8. You told me it was an extra motivator after you guys came up short last year. What was the attitude amongst the team to make sure you made it this time?
You know, we've been calling this year our revenge tour. And, you know, a couple years ago, we had great experience making it all the way to the finals and finishing second at the national championship. And last year was tough. You know, we had a very good team and just fell short at regional. So to make it this far is something I'm extremely proud of. We have 2 great senior leaders, Minori Nagano and Chinsu Chen, who actually shot a combined 5 under on the backside today and led our 3 little freshmen to get to this point. So I'm very proud.
Yeah, you mentioned those 4 newbies that you have on the team. What's sort of the advice that the seniors are passing down to them as you get ready to head to the match play tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, it's a big moment. You know, cameras are in your face, but they're ready for it. And I think just leaning on each other, I'm pretty proud of our culture at the University of Oregon and our team. And so leaning on each other, and our word is together. So they're fighting for each other, and I can't wait to get going in match play. The revenge tour pays off. Congratulations. Best of luck. Thank you so much.
Oregon Ducks have punched their ticket to the match play. And the only thing up for grabs right now is the #1 seed and the individual title to be decided as well. Here from Carlsbad and the Division I.
Back at 17, Cernousek, second shot from the middle of the fairway.
86 yards for Cernousek, trying to land this just on the front of the green because it's downwind, so this ball's going to hop.
That is a really good shot.
Yeah.
The NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships continues tomorrow. Quarterfinal coverage starting at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Keep it here at 17 with Paula Martin San Pedro.
San Pedro has a great angle into this flag, just 65 yards, and she can use the entire green here on the second shot. She came up a little too short, and with such a short yardage, that wasn't going to hop, so she's going to be disappointed with that one.
Stanford, Texas A&M both 1 over par. LSU at 2 over. So to your point, Bob, those top 3 seeds still need to get ironed out over the next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, Stanford is 10 over today. Texas A&M is 11 over today. Conversely, LSU is just 3 over today. Again, the round of the day is USC. They're the only team in the field to shoot under par today. They shot 1 under. So they're locked into that 4th spot and will play Clemson in the quarterfinals tomorrow morning.
Yeah, USC, UCLA both making it to match play. The last time those two schools did it was in 2018, also happened in 2016. Stanford is going to be a third school from the state of California to make match play.
Yeah, we also have to give a kudos here to USC. This is the 26th consecutive year that they have advanced to the NCAAs. It's over a quarter of a century.
Yeah, Andrea Gaston did so much for a couple of decades, and Justin Silverstein has honestly picked up right where that program was for 20 plus years, and you could argue has continued to build it and escalate it as to a fixture here at this championship.
And Andrea Gaston, I still see her out and about quite a bit at LPGA tournaments, watching her former players. It's always good to see her around still.
Yeah, you can't talk about USC without mentioning Andrea Gaston, leading that program to 3 national titles in 03, 08, and 13, and one of the fixtures, one of the very best to ever be a head coach in women's college golf. And Garrett Runyon, well, he's got some experience. He was an assistant coach for the LSU men's team when they won a national title in 2015 at Concession. Got a chance to see the Lady Tigers do the same thing here perhaps a couple days from now. Right now he's got an eye on Carla Tejado. She's got a birdie chance at 17.
Carla hasn't had her best stuff today. She's had 3 bogeys on this backside, but the mindset right now, you finish these 2 holes and then it's all about the team, all about match play tomorrow.
So Carla gonna tap that one in now, probably throw down a mark just not to get in the line of one of her playing competitors. While we have a moment, let's set it back down to Amy.
Thanks, Burko. Here with Melissa Llewellyn of Auburn. I asked her how it went today. She's like, oh, little stressful, a little tougher, a little more touch and go than perhaps you wanted it to be. But what was the final thing you said to your team as you sent them out there today to try and make that top 8?
Just commit to the finish. I mean, that was really, the practice after the round yesterday was such a rough day for us. And, looking back at the big numbers was really just some scared swings. And so I'm like, just commit to the finish. And if it goes long or left or right, it doesn't matter as long as you commit. No more scared swings. And so this golf course can really get your mind and your heart thumping. And I'm just so proud of them for fighting. I mean, it was we kind of limped on in, a couple bogeys out there, but I mean, the golf course is hard. It can jump up and bite you at any time. So I'm just incredibly proud of our young ladies, and the birdie on the last hole from Anna Davis was pretty sweet. Nice icing on the top.
Yeah, for sure. Very nicely done. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you. War Eagle.
Let's go back to the green at 17. Cernousek, great look at birdie.
And birdies are hard to come by because it's very difficult to get it close on these firm greens. Cernousek trying to get to 2 under par. She's had a lot of par saves in this round, and that's just going to miss. But the last 2 holes, she had great saves for par, and then the last 3 holes in her front 9 made putts from about 6 feet. So she's really grinded in this last round to keep her lead and to have a very good shot at celebrating on the 18th hole.
And to that point, Amelia, as we just heard from Melissa Llewellyn, this course makes you think. You need to be strategic, pick your moments. It's worked so far for Cernousek as she heads to 18 with a 4-shot lead.
This year's women's and men's NCAA Division I championships, and Adela Cernousek started the day with a 6-shot lead on the tee at the par 5 18th.
Every player
now 3.
Every player is going with less than driver off the tee because there's penalty area, which you can't see from the tee, but it's about a 245 shot back into the breeze.
Just to correct myself, leads by 4, playing the par 5. Safely on the fairway. The last individual champion to win by 4 or more shots was Virginia Elena Carter in 2016 when she won by 8 at Eugene Country Club. Texas A&M has never had a women's individual champion. Cernousek trying to win for the first time collegiately. Now Tejado on the tee.
This is a pull left, but Tejado, one of those players that stepped up when Ingrid Lindblad didn't play well, and she's had a great week this week so far as an individual.
Yeah, and right now the team leaderboard is at +2 as far as the #1 seed. And somebody make a birdie here, break that tie, coming down the stretch here in Carlsbad. Back at the 18th, Texas A&M's Cayetana Fernandez Garcia Pollo has this putt for par. Remember, +2 has a share of the lead in the team competition, and Texas A&M is going to give a shot back there, and she's still not in. So close. See, Zoe Slaughter thought it was in. Carrying a little too much speed. Now her teammate Adela Cernousek laying up at the par 5 18th.
Just about an 150-yard layup, but it's pretty nerve-wracking with penalty area on the left, and if you go too long, but that's going to be just fine in the fairway, and Adela will just have a wedge in.
And she has a 4-shot lead, smile on her face. She's going to win for the first time in college and give Texas A&M their first ever women's NCAA individual championship. Jet Hannes has been tending the flag at 18 all day. We thank him and his family, his father and brother, both in the Air Force. Jet, an Air Force cadet at the University of California, San Diego in the ROTC program. Anya Donegan of LSU for birdie. Could they grab the #1 seed? So Donegan will tap that in for par. And remember, Cayetana Fernandez Garcia Pollo has this putt for bogey. Donegan, a 1 under par 71 today, finishes the week at 5 under. Great score. Especially as we've talked about, Karen, the fact that nobody has any intel on this venue. It underwent a restoration.
Yep.
And there's been really no play on it. Everybody's seeing it for the first time.
And it's not one of those kind of courses that you could just roll up to and what you see is right in front of you. There's a lot of subtleties to this course, to the angles you take from the tee, and that's just painful on the final hole.
Yeah, so she has this now for double. Again, Stanford, Texas A&M, and LSU are in a tie for the #1 seed, but Texas A&M is going to give 2 back here. Cayetana with a 78 in this final round. Stanford Cardinal trying to lock down the #1 seed. For the 4th year in a row. Try to win another national championship, having won it in 2022 and 2015, the first year we broadcast the women's portion of the NCAAs at Concession. LSU reaching match play for the first time since it was introduced for the women in its 9th year.
You gotta go pitch and edge. If you can go at the flag and go a little long left.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good draw a little off that line, so it's perfect.
Amelia, what does Carla Tejado have in here?
Carla has 112 yards back into the breeze, and this is a difficult green to get close to. If you come up any short of this flag, there's a steep little false front that will just bring this ball all the way back, and you'll have a tricky elevated pitch shot. So precision is key. The ball's above Carla's feet, so this is going to push it to the left. She's overcompensated this one out to the right, but should be safe.
That's fine. Better than missing it left for sure. Left is no good.
No. It's been a common spot, either that or over. According to Bushnell, 111 yards to the hole for Adela Cernousek. She's got a 4-shot lead playing the final hole.
Adela's going to be looking right where Carla hit her ball, about 25 feet to the right. She's not going to be going at this flag. You get it safely on the green, and then you can finally relax and smile.
With a 4-shot lead, that is just fine.
Absolutely. I think she can actually relax a little bit now, as Amelia was saying, and this walk will be quite nice for her, knowing that she's walking up to her teammates and a trophy.
A little bit in sight.
And Walker out there with Paula Martin San Pedro as the Stanford freshman to play her 3rd shot into 18.
Paula has the second lowest round of the day today at 2 under par. Lottie Woad finished at 3 under, which was the lowest score today. She's had a really nice round going. This from 98 yards.
Good shot there. Mimi Rhodes of Wake Forest also shot 2 under today, but Adela Cernousek of Texas A&M up to win the national championship. Back at the NCAA Women's Division I Championship, Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course. Texas A&M's Adela Cernousek with a 4-shot lead has a putt for birdie here at 18.
45 feet for her birdie putt, and she has such a big cushion that her nervousness has probably gone down more than if she had a 2-shot lead. But something I always like to do when I'm in contention like this, treat it like the 6th hole. Try and get yourself to not think about it, that it's the last, potentially the last putt you're going to hit.
Carrying some speed, and
oh, that's
I think she's happy that stayed on the green.
Yeah, they literally, if that's a little further left, it could have gone off the green. And you got a 4-shot lead. Your teammates looking on as the junior from France, communications major. Just gassed that one. Martin San Pedro for birdie.
30 feet for San Pedro, going back up the hill and breaking to her left.
Get out.
Oh, and that's a nice way for her to finish. Great round of golf. And when you look back there and you see the Stanford team, you see Rachel Heck as part of that team. And
Stanford has locked up, or about to lock up, the #1 seed. And the reason why is you take the drop scores from all of the days. Now, if Tejado can make birdie here, that's a different story.
Here. I'm sitting here just see if they want to put a slight corner.
I was going to say, yeah. I know, that's exactly what he said.
She gave a good run.
So Tejado misses the birdie putt. So LSU will be the #2 seed. Stanford in the drop scores, if you add them all up for the rounds of play, is +16. And LSU is +21. Adela Cernousek of Texas A&M has this putt for par. Jared Chadwell, the head coach there, giving it a look. She's got a 4-shot lead. About to become the first player in Texas A&M women's golf to win the individual championship. Cozies it up close. And we'll tap in for bogey. Junior Adela Cernousek of Texas A&M has won the 2024 NCAA Women's Division I Individual Championship, becoming the first player in school history to win the women's individual title. She shot 68, 68, 68 through the first 3 rounds. In the final round, 72. Even par is good enough to win by 3. Tejado for her par. And LSU in match play for the first time since the Women's Division I Championship has gone to match play.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Good job. Thank you. Great job. Adela likes your play. Extra shots. Oh my God. I really got it. I couldn't breathe. Good job, bro. Yeah, that's what shows. You could have 5 footed. Like you guys.
Stanford has the #1 seed. For the 4th year in a row, they'll take on Auburn in one quarterfinal tomorrow morning. USC, which shot 100 today as a team, the only team to shoot in red figures today, will take on Clemson in the 4-5 matchup. #2, LSU squares off against Oregon. Oregon lost in the national championship match 2 years ago. And Texas A&M will square off against UCLA. That's the bracket. Those are the quarterfinal matchups, which you'll see right here live on Golf Channel tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon local time here in Carlsbad, California. You're watching coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships, presented by AT&T. First year at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course, hosting the NCAA Women's Division I Championship in its 42nd year. The host university is the University of Texas. Adela Cernousek has won the individual title, shooting an even par 72 in this final round. And for the 4th year in a row, Stanford has the #1 seed as we send it down to Amy.
Thanks so much, Coach. Yeah, you've secured that #1 overall seed for the 3rd consecutive year. You told me this morning you told your team to stick to their strategy. What was that today?
Well, we were excited to see the golf course this afternoon because we hadn't played it since Friday, and it definitely played a lot different. So we certainly tried some things maybe that we hadn't tried, and we probably could have stuck to our strategy a little bit better this afternoon, but happy to come out on top and looking forward to what's to come.
When we spoke this morning, you said how important it was for them to just stay in the present today. What will be the mindset as you head into match play tomorrow?
Well, the tournament flips. It just becomes a completely different tournament, and we know all too well now it's a 50-50. Every time you tee it up, it could be your last round of the season. So we'll just try to really enjoy it. Auburn's an incredible team. What they did today and the way they played those last few holes, they're a better team than they look on paper with adding Ian Davis in January this year. So I believe we're probably facing one of the very toughest teams in the country, and we're going to need to play our best golf to beat them.
Yeah, you played excellent today. Congratulations. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks so much.
Ann Walker, and Stanford was the #1 seed in 2021, but they had lost in the quarterfinals to Arizona. Came back the next year to win the national championship, beating Oregon. Last year as the #1 seed. Stanford lost in the semifinals to USC. Can the Cardinal pick up their 3rd national title? Adela Cernousek on this Monday has captured the Women's Division I NCAA championship. We'll hear from the winner when we come back. Texas A&M, Adela Cernousek wins the school's first women's individual golf championship as she winds up winning by 3 shots over Lottie Wood of Florida State. 66, 60, 68, 68, 68, and a 72 in the final round as Steve Burkowski is with our champion.
Was a very impressive performance by our champion, and pleased as always to be alongside Brad Hurlbut, the chair of the NCAA Division I Golf Committee that I know has a very special trophy for our champion this year. Brad.
I definitely do. And on behalf of the NCAA and the Women's Golf Committee, congratulations. Great playing this week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Adela, you began this final round with a big lead, a 6-shot advantage. How did you approach this last 18 holes?
Honestly, I was just trying to stick to my game plan, just try to hit the fairways, the greens. The pins here can get very tricky, so I was just trying to literally hit the greens. Don't really go for them, and just stick to my game and try my best out there without thinking about anything else.
How was that patience tested, sticking to the game plan, coming down the stretch on the back 9?
Yeah, it was really hard. I kept looking at the leaderboard too, and I was like, oof. People are playing good today, so I was like, it was very stressful. But yeah, I just tried to keep going. Coach, like he helped me a lot today. He stayed with me on some important shots today, so I helped a lot also for that.
As you said, it was very stressful. What did you lean into from past experiences that allowed you to get to this point?
Yeah, I think just other years and like all the experience we get in college. And just trust myself and the work I've put into like at home in College Station. So yeah, just more like my work at home. Yeah.
You talk about your head coach, Gary Chadwell. He said your work ethic is second to none, as good as any he's had. Why has all that hard work paid off this week for you to become an NCAA champion?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like my hard work helps me to be consistent, and I think in hard conditions and like in stressful moments like this, I know I worked a lot on those things. So I think just the hard work helps me I think always come back to that I always that's what I do all the time when I'm at home. So just try to feel like I'm at home when I'm on the course. Yeah.
Coach Chadwell also said you're a team-first kind of player, but this is your moment. Why do you think this was the breakthrough to pick up your first collegiate victory in grand style?
I don't know, but it's kind of crazy. I still don't believe it, honestly. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm happy with the season I had this year, honestly, and this is just the perfect ending. And well, we have match play tomorrow, so I have to focus on that also. But this is very cool. Yeah, it's very special.
Special moment indeed. Enjoy every bit of it. Congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's send it over to Amy.
Coach, you've had a front row seat to Adela's success this week. So what's been behind the success that we've seen from her?
Oh my gosh, it's a lot of hard work. You know, she qualified for the U.S. Women's Open this week, and I thought that really gave her a lot of confidence that she belongs on this stage. And so just so deserving for her. And I mean, she carried us all week. Without her performance, we'd be fighting to get into match play.
Speaking of match play, kind of shift gears tomorrow. You told me you weren't too happy with the way your team finished today. How do you reset for tomorrow?
You know, I think it's just that, you know, the score is 0-0. We got to get to 3 first, and we'll put them in the best position they can to win matches. And, yeah, we need to finish some rounds off. But we've got a lot of experience coming into this, and I think that's what we're going to remind them of, and we know what it takes to get to Wednesday.
You told me earlier today that the hard part was just getting started. Yeah. What will you say to your team as they get ready to battle it out over the next couple of days?
We got another tee time, and that's all we've asked for them to keep doing is give us tee times. And so we'll be off early. And, you know, this golf course this afternoon, we haven't played the golf course in the afternoon, so I feel like we're learning it on the fly. So I think we'll see a little bit more receptive golf course in the morning, and we get through that match. It'll prepare us in the afternoon for that afternoon match.
We appreciate the time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Gig 'em.
Coach Chadwell has done an amazing job in his 3rd year at Texas A&M, and Adela Cernousek gets her first collegiate win. And Karen, you can't pick a better spot to get it. The NCAA championship.
You know what? She performed outstanding from the time she hit her first tee shot to the time that she finished off there on the 18th green. She did everything that was asked of her, and she should enjoy this moment.
Yeah, and she didn't play her best today, but she was able to turn some disastrous shots into pars when she wrote her score down at the end of the hole.
Some tremendous saves. She made some clutch putts when she absolutely had to. Mark of a great champion.
Texas A&M's Adela Cernousek wins the individual title here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa.